Cantos 109 to 111 of Book 2 of the Ramayana of Valmiki, translated by Ralph T.H. Griffith. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Om123. Canto 109. The Praises of Truth. By sage Javali does it rest, Rama of truthful hearts the best, with perfect skill and wisdom high, does to his speech made feet reply. Thy words that tempt to bliss are fair, but virtue's garb they falsely wear. For he from duty's path who strays, to wander in forbidden ways, allured by doctrine false and vain, praise from the good can never gain. Their lives the true and boaster show, pure and impure, and high and low. Elsewhere no mark to judge between, stainless and stained, and high and mean. They, to whose lot fair signs may fall, were but as they who lack them all. And those, to virtuous thoughts inclined, were but as men of evil mind. If in the sacred name of right I do this wrong in duty's spite, the path of virtue meanly quit, and this polluting sin commit, what man who marks the bounds between virtue and vice with insight keen, would rank me high in after time, stained with this soul-destroying crime? Whither could I, the sinner, turn, how hope a seat in heaven to earn? If I my plighted promise break, and thus the righteous path forsake, this world of ours is ever led to walk the ways which others tread, and as their princes they behold, the subjects too their lives will mould. That truth and mercy still must be beloved of kings is heaven's decree. Upheld by truth the monarch reigns, and truth the very world sustains. Truth evermore has been the love of holy saints and gods above, and he whose lips are truthful here wins after death the highest spare. As from a serpent's deadly tooth we shrink from him who scorns the truth. For holy truth is root and spring of justice and each holy thing, a might that every power transcends, linked to high bliss that never ends. Truth is all virtue's surest base, supreme in word and first in place. Oblations, gifts man offer here, vows, sacrifice, and rites austere, and holy writ on truth depend, so man must still that truth defend. Truth, only truth protects the land, by truth unharmed our houses stand. Neglect of truth makes man distressed, and truth in highest heaven is blessed. Then how can I, rebellious, break commandments which my father spake? I ever true and faithful found, and by my word of honor bound. My father's bridge of truth shall stand, unharmed by my destructive hand. Not folly, ignorance, or greed my darkened soul shall thus mislead. Have we not heard that God and shade turn from the hated offerings paid by him whose false and fickle mind no pledge can hold, no promise bind? Truth is all duty, as the soul, it quickens and supports the whole. The good respect this duty hence, its sacred claims I reverence. The warrior's duty I despise, that seeks the wrong in virtue's guise. Those claims I shrink from, which the base, cruel and covetous embrace. The heart conceives the guilty thought, then by the hand the sin is wrought, and with the pair is leagued the third, the tongue that speaks the lying word. Fortune and land and name and fame, to man's best care, have right and claim. The good will aye to truth adhere, and its high laws must man revere. Base were the deed thy lips would teach, approved as best by subtle speech. Shall I my plighted promise break, that I these woods my home would make? Shall I, as were its words advise, my father's solemn charge despise? Firm stands the oath which then before My father's face I soothly saw, which Queen Kaikeyi's anxious ear rejoiced with highest joy to hear. Still in the wood will I remain, with food prescribed my life sustain, and pleased with fruit and roots and flowers, ancestral shades and heavenly powers. Here every sense contented, still, heeding the bounds of good and ill, my settled course will I pursue, firm in my faith and ever true. Here in this wild and far retreat will I my noble task complete, and fire and wind and moon shall be partakers of its fruit with me. 100 offerings duly wrought is rank over gods of Indra brought, and mighty saints their heaven secured by torturing years on earth endured. That scoffing played the hero's part, and thus he spake once more, chiding the while his bosom turned Javali's impious law. Justice and courage never dismayed, pity for all distressed, truth, loving honor dearly paid, to Brahman, god and guest. In these, the truth and virtuous, say, should lives of man be passed. They form the right and happy way that leads to heaven at last. My father's thoughtless act I chide, that gave thee honored place, whose soul, from virtue turned aside, is faithless, dark and base. We rank the Buddhist with the thief, and all the impious crew, who share his sinful disbelief, and hate the right and true. Hence never should wise kings who seek to rule their people well, admit before their face to speak the cursed infidel. But twice born man, in days gone by, of other sort than thou, have wrought good deeds, whose glories high are fresh among us now. This world they conquered, nor in vain they strove to win the skies. The twice born hands pure lives maintain, and fires of worship rise. Those who in virtue's path delight, and with the virtuous live, whose flames of holy zeal are bright, whose hands are swift to give. Who injure none, and good and mild, in every grace excel, whose lives by sin are undefiled, we love and honor well. Thus Rama spoke in righteous rage, Javali's speech to chide, when thus again the virtuous sage in truthful words replied. The atheist's law I use no more, not mine his impious creed. His words and doctrine I abhor, assumed at time of need. Even as I rose to speak with thee, the fit occasion came that bade me use the atheist's plea to turn thee from thine aim. The atheist creed I disavow, unsay the words of sin, and use the faithful's language now, thy favor, Prince, to win. Canto 110. The Sons of Ikshaku. Then spake Vasistha, who perceived that Rama's soul was wrought and grieved. Well knows the sage Javali all the changes that the world befall, and but to lead thee to revoke thy purpose were the words he spoke. Lord of the world, now hear from me how first this world began to be. First water was, and naught beside, tree earth was formed that stretches wide, then with the gods from out the same, the self-existent Brahma came. Then Brahma, in a boar's disguise, bade from the deep this earth arise. Then with his sons of tranquil soul, he made the world and framed the whole. From subtlest ether Brahma rose, no end, no loss, no chains he knows. A son had he, Marichi styled, and Kashyap was Marichi's child. From him Vivasat sprang, from him Manu, whose fame shall never be dim. Manu, who life to mortals gave, begot Ikshaku good and brave. First of Ayodhya's kings was he, pride of our famous dynasty. From him the glorious Kukshi sprang, whose fame through all the regions rang. rival of Kukshi's ancient fame. His Aya, the great Bikukshi came. His son was Vana, lord of might. His Anaranya, strong in fight. No famine marred his blissful reign. No drought destroyed the kindly grain. Amid the sons of virtue chief, his happy realm never held a thief. His son was Prithu, glorious name. From him the wise Trishanku came. Embodied to the skies he went, for love of truth preeminent. He left a son renowned afar, known by the name of Thunduma. His son succeeding bore the name of Ivanasha, dear to fame. He passed away, him followed Dan, his son Mandhata, king of man. His son was blessed in high emprise, Susanti, fortunate and wise. Two noble sons had he, to wit, Dhruvasanti and Prasanajit. Bharat was Dhruvasanti's son, his glorious arm the conquest won. Against his son King Asit rose, in fierce array his royal foes. Hyhyas, Talajanga styled, and Sasivindus fierce and wild. Long time he strove, but forced to yield, fled from the kingdom and the field. The wives he left had both conceived, so is the ancient tale believed. One of our rivals' hopes afraid, fell poisoned in the viands laid. It chanced that Chauvan, Bhrigu's child, had wandered to the pathless wild, where proud Himalaya's lovely height detained him with a strange delight. Then came the other widowed queen, with lotus eyes and beauteous mien, longing a noble son to bear, and wooed the saint with earnest prayer. When thus Kalindi, fairest dame, with reverent supplication came, to her the holy sage replied, O royal lady, from thy side a glorious son shall spring ere long, righteous and true and brave and strong. He is scourge of foes and lofty souled, his ancient race shall still uphold. Then round the sage the lady went, and bade farewell most reverent. Back to her home she turned once more, and there her promised son she bore. Because her rival mixed a bane, to render her conception vain, and her unripened fruit destroy, Sagar she called her rescued boy. He, when he paid that solemn rite, filled living creature with affright. Obedient to his high decree, his countless sons took out the sea. Prince Asamaj was Sagar's child, but him with cruel sin defiled, and loaded with the people's hate, his father banished from the state. To Asamaj his consort bare, bright Ansuman his valiant heir. Ansuman's son, Dilipa famed, begat a son Bhagirath named. From him renowned Kakutstha came, thou bearest still the lineal name. Kakutstha's son was Raghu, thou art styled the son of Raghu now. From him came Purushadak bold, fierce hero of gigantic mould. Kalamasapada's name he bore, because his feet were spotted over. Sankan his son, to manhood grown, died sadly with his host overthrown. But ere he perished sprang from him Sudarsan, fair in face and limb. From beautiful Sudarsan came Prince Agnivarna, bright as flame. His son was Sigraha, for speed unmatched, and Maru was his seed. Prasusruka was Maru's child, his son was Ambarisha styled. Nahus was Ambarisha's heir, with hand to strike and heart to dare. His son was good Navag from youth, renowned for piety and truth. From great Navag sprang children too, Aja and Subrat, pure and true. From Aja Dasarat came, whose virtuous life was free from blame. His eldest son art thou, his throne, O famous Rama, is thine own. Accept the sway so justly thine, and view the world with eyes benign. Forever in Ikshaku's race, the eldest takes his father's place, and while he lives no son beside, as Lord and King is sanctified. The rule by Raghu's children kept, thou must not spurn today, this realm of peerless wealth accept, and like thy father sway. Canto 111. Counsel to Bharat. Thus said Vasistha, and again to Rama spake in duteous train. All men the light of life who see, with high respect should look on tree. High honor never must be denied to father, mother, holy guide. First to their sires their birth they owe, now with maternal love they grow. Their holy guides fair knowledge teach, so man should love and honor each. Thy sire and thou have learned of me, the sacred guide of him and thee. And if my word thou wilt obey, thou still wilt keep the virtuous way. See, with the chiefs of every guild, and all thy friends this place is filled. All these, as duty bids, protect, so still the righteous path respect. Oh, for thine aged mother feel, nor spurn the virtuous dame's appeal. Obey, O prince, thy mother dear, and still to virtue's path adhere. Yield thou to Bharat's fond request, with earnest supplication pressed, so wilt thou to thyself be true, and fate and duty still pursue. Thus by his saintly guide addressed, with pleas in sweetest tones expressed, the Lord of Man in turn replied, to wise Vasistha by his side. The fondest son's observance never repays the sire and mother's care. The constant love that food provides, and dress and every need besides. Their pleasant words still soft and mild, their nurture of the helpless child. The words which Dasaratha spake, my king and sire, I never will break. Then Bharat of the ample chest, the wise smṛti thus addressed, bring sacred grass, O charioteer, and strew it on the level here, for I will sit and watch his face, until I win my brother's grace. Like a robbed Brahmin will I lie, nor taste of food, nor turn my eye, in front of Rama's leafy cart, until he yield will leave him not. When Bharat saw Sumantра's eye, looked up to Rama for reply. The prince himself in eager haste, the sacred grass in order placed. Him great and mighty Rama, best of royal saints, in turn addressed. What, Bharat, have I done, that thou beseechest me, a suppliant now? Thus stretched, to force redress for wrongs, to man a Brahman birth belongs. Not those upon whose kingly head the consecrating drops are shed. Up, Lord of Man, arise and quit this fearful vow for thee unfit. Go, brother, seek Ayodhya's town, fair city of supreme renown. But Bharat, as his seat he took, cast all around an eager look. O people, join your prayers with mine, and so his stubborn heart incline. And all the people answered thus, full well is Rama known to us. Right is the word he speaks, and he is faithful to his sire's decree. Nor can we rashly venture now to turn him from his purposed vow. Then Rama spoke, O Bharat, heed thy virtuous friends, and mark their rede. Mark well what I and these advise, and duty view with clearer eyes. Thy hand on mine, O hero, place, touch water, and thy sin efface. Then Bharat rose, his hand he dipped, and purifying water seeped. Each citizen, he cried, give ear, attend, each counsellor and peer. My mother planned, by me untaught, to win the sway I never sought. Never Raghu's son could I despise, in duty's law supremely wise. Now if obedience to our sire this dwelling in the woods require, I, till the destined years be spent, will dwell alone in banishment. The virtuous Rama wonder steered, the faithful speech of Bharat heard, and thus the hero's feelings found due utterance as he gazed around. Still to my father's word I hold, whatever he bought or pledged or sold. Never shall his living promise be annulled by Bharat or by me. Not thus my task will I evade, my exile on another laid. Most wise was Queen Kaikeyi's rede, and just and good my father's deed. Dear Bharat's patient soul, I know how reverence due he loves to show. In him, high-souled and faithful found, must each auspicious grace abound. When from the woods I turn again, I with his aid shall nobly reign. With one so good of peerless worth, a glorious lord of happy earth. Her boon Kaikeyi sought and won, I, as my father swore, have done. And oh, do thou, my brother dear, the monarch's name from falsehood clear. End of Cantos 109, 110 and 111.